Hello and welcome to the Indulge podcast with me, Rupam Jain. And today's episode is really special because today we are celebrating World Theatre Day. And to celebrate such a big day, I couldn't think of anybody than two pioneers of theatre, V Balakrishnan and Meera Sitaraman, who I'm going to be introducing to you soon. But before that, I must tell you, also celebrating World Theatre Day, and this episode is special because V Balakrishnan, who's the founder of Theatre Nisha, is celebrating 25 years of existence. Also, he himself is celebrating 31 years in theatre. Alright, welcome Balakrishnan, who is fondly called Bala, and Meera, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So glad that you guys made space on a Sunday and came all over and are ready to speak on everything to do with theatre. Like I said before, even before starting this, the quote is yours. You are going to be leading us. But let me start right with where Theatre Nisha started. Probably you can come to your journey, of course, because you're 31 years into theatre. Theatre Nisha is 25 years, and I believe you joined in 2012.
Yeah.
So you're 13 years into with Theatre Nisha.
Yeah.
But I'm sure your journey also with theatre started much earlier than that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come to all of that. So Theatre Nisha, first I want to know why Nisha? Where does that come from?
So most people usually think that Nisha was like my first girlfriend.
Okay, interesting.
But no.
No.
No. Nisha, the
Okay,
meaning,
sorry.
I mean, Nisha usually means, it means twilight. It is that Gaudhuli Vela.
Okay.
So it's one of the first words that I had uttered on stage when I was working in college, and written by a very prolific writer, Arvind Joshi, who is based in Delhi. And it's a play that he had written, and one of the lines which I speak in it goes like, "Kya yahan hai Nisha yahan hai Usha kahan o ab kaho." So the fact that everything seems to be, dank and dark, when will it be? When will the sun rise? So that was the line. So the word Nisha is something that I took from there.
So what was the drive that you thought, okay, this is the time that I should
Actually,
start?
more than a drive, it was just a necessity in the sense
Okay.
when I had come to Chennai from Delhi,
Yeah.
and I wasn't getting work here in theatre.
Okay.
So it was either, oh, he's from NSD, we can't give him work, or it was, oh, he's from NSD, so what, big deal, we won't give him work. So one of the two was always happening.
Right.
So and I was a pure actor, nothing to do with direction or design or anything.
Okay.
And since I wasn't getting any work, I said, fine, then let me create my own work. And the step number one was to create a group. So there were two of us, and we said, fine, let's start a group. We started a group. The group's name got fixed, and we started having dreams about it. The first play by us was done in 2001. Even though 2000 is the starting year, 2001 is when we did the first play, which was Ashes to Ashes by Harold Pinter. Yeah. I had 4 or 5 people with whom I was working. Plus, I was kind of known in Chennai, new boy doing theatre. To cement what we were doing took another 2 years.
Was there a moment when you felt like, what is happening? Like, why am I so drawn towards this? Was there a moment like that?
Like I always knew I loved the girl.
Okay.
And I was sure the girl is never going to love me back, From a distance you're seeing her and yeah, I like her so much. But for me, the moment came when the repertory was performing Janpat Kiss of Mr. Ranjit Kapoor. And the rehearsal director said, why don't you come and join the repertory as an apprentice and tour with us? So that was the moment when I was like, if he felt from a group of 30 people, I was the one he wanted to work with the group. I felt that maybe he sees something in me that I don't myself see. So that was the moment when the girl said, hey, I like you also. And then there was no looking back.
Very nice, very nicely put. See, you were talking about that's a romantic way. This is a romantic way to put it. How about you, Meera? Again, we'll come back to, of course, the journey. But how did the journey for you start in theatre? You always wanted to be an actor?
It's actually a mixed thing. So
Okay.
I did theatre when I was in school.
Okay.
And my school was very forthcoming when it came to annual functions and all. So it was never directed by a school teacher.
Okay.
We used to get somebody from outside to direct. So we always had people who knew theatre directing us.
Oh, nice.
And for us that was a very fresh
Right,
experience.
yeah.
So, and I had the opportunity of working with the people like Sandeep Matan and all who are really good theatre professionals in Jaipur. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
I'm from Jaipur.
Okay.
And then we also had people like Faisal Al-Qazi coming in. And so my introduction to theatre was very flamboyant when it was in school, and it was very larger than life. And I remember one day when I think I was in 11th, and I had just understood that there is something called as National School of Drama. I had no idea how to get in. I had no idea what it stands for in terms of who can go and all. I remember coming back home and I saying, Appa, I want to go to National School of Drama. Diwali came early in the house. We had fireworks everywhere. And somehow I knew at that point of time, I have never felt more joy doing anything else. Okay. Now, obviously, that as a path for me was not set at that point of time. And roads changed and I came to Chennai to do my graduation. And that's when I met Bala for the first time. I met Bala for the first time in 2007. So although I joined his repertory in 2012 as a person in whichever capacity, I've known him since 2007. And I had the opportunity of working with him as well in 2007 and 8 and 9. Okay. And I've worked with Freddy as well. Freddy was my first director in Chennai. So again, in college also, I was fortunate to have my college plays directed by professionals from outside. So my introduction to theatre has always been through these people who knew what they were doing in their capacities. Of course, some I liked, some I didn't work, whatever. But it always came from a background of knowledge. So for me, theatre was always like, oh my God, I want to do this. Then when I met him and he directed me for 2 years in Stella, I really liked his way of working. And I was something about me wanting to stay in Chennai was there. So I decided I will do my master's in Chennai because I want to do theatre. Again, roads changed. I did not stay in Chennai. I moved out and I went to Delhi. But I didn't stop doing theatre. So I still continued doing theatre. And I had the opportunity of going to National School of Drama and watch plays and, meet with people who are working there. And I worked with theatre companies in Delhi itself. Then I was like, oh, maybe I still want to stay. Again, did not happen and I moved. But what I have maintained is that wherever I went, I did theatre. Whether it was in Chennai, whether it was in Delhi, whether it was in the UK when I went to study, I made sure theatre was in my life in some way because I just could not give it up. Like, it's the only thing I've never given up in my life. I've given up all kinds of other things, but never theatre. And then when I came back, I was like, now I need to work somewhere. Now, I decided I wanted to come to Chennai because I was like, I want to work with Theatre Nisha in some capacity. I don't care if it's backstage or publicity, but I want to stay in touch with theatre. And I came here to do a project with Child Relief and You. And the day I landed in Chennai, the funding from it was removed. So the project fell apart. Then I was like, oh, I have to search for work. Then Bala, like a very kind person, me nomad, said, come join. Whenever you find work, you go. And then initially, at least I was proactive in finding work. But then because I figured I could do this, I stopped searching altogether and this became full-time for me.
Full-time in theatre.
And ever since, I've been with Theatre Nisha.
Very nice.
And I'm not searching for anything else.
That's also a very pertinent point, because a lot of people that I meet or I talk to theatre, they also have a job. They also do something and they very honestly said because it's very difficult to survive and all of that and all. So how do you manage to survive only for theatre?
See, I think the key word here is survive. And I don't think people, when they say we can't survive, I think survive anyone can. If you are doing what you like and that's what you want to do, I don't think survival is a problem. I think your other mercantile dreams that come into the picture is what causes the problem. Because I know people who come from very low economic backgrounds who are doing theatre heartily because that's what feeds their soul. Now there are people who say, oh, theatre can't pay me 60K a month, theatre can't give me 1.5K a month, my MBA can. So I think I'll go with my MBA. I don't think you ever enjoyed theatre per se. Maybe you enjoyed the feeling of being in theatre. Like they say, one is to be in love and other is to be in love with the feeling of being in love. So it's the people who are in love with the feeling of being in love who feel maybe they need to do both. But people who love, I don't think they have a problem in the sense that like both me and Meera, we may not own a car or own an apartment, but we own our space. When I by space, I mean theatre. So I think you take a call on what is your priority. I mean, when you want to die, what do you want? What do you want the last thoughts in your head to be? That I did what I did. I didn't drive a BMW, but I did what I did. Or I drove a BMW, but hell, I didn't do what I wanted to do. It's your call.
It's your priority.
Either way, it is not wrong, but it's your call
It's
what
your
you
call.
want to do.
Right.
So I think people want to do it as a hobby. It's okay, but it's an hobby. It's not theatre.
So you mean theatre is life itself? Like you have to be in it or not at all?
Theatre is like I said, theatre is too kind. Theatre is too kind. You go to theatre, she is going to put her hand on your head. But it's now up to you to figure out the amount of exploration that can be done, how life-changing it can be. I mean, theatre is the reason that we are all a society today. Theatre is the reason that we managed to create institutions the way we have done today. Theatre is the reason that we have laws and edicts and codes and codifications. And if theatre is what has made us who we are today, imagine the strength of theatre. Those who want to explore it to that strength, go ahead and do that. Those who feel that we can do namaste right from, without climbing the mountain, we can namaste to God from here, you will also be blessed. God won't be unkind. You will be blessed either way. Either you do the entire pilgrimage or you stay downstairs.
Right. Also, I want to bring here, going back again to Theatre Nisha, the kind of stories that you all bring is very, very different. Like you were saying, Mohammed Beg said that they find...
I mean, they didn't say it.
I'm like, okay, they didn't say it. Okay.
Yeah,
They didn't say it, but do you think your stories are dark?
Yes, it is dark because it's going to make you look into the darkest corners of your souls and lives. But then it is going to lead you towards light. That was what Nisha was all about.
Right.
From Nisha towards light.
Do you think it's also a matter of perspectives? Like, people might find the plays that you do dark also because there's this perception of, you go to a theatre to have entertainment, to relax from everything that you do. It's like a vent, it's like a break that you want to take. And if you're feeding me dark there, then I don't want it. Do you think that's
I think theatre has never ever existed for entertainment. Theatre has always existed for engagement. Never for entertainment.
Right.
If you want to, wind down, you want to relax, go to a bar. I mean, go to one of those tapas bars or go to a place where you can get a nice drink, enjoy some Jagjit Singh ghazal, meet few more people like yourself and go back home. You will be relaxed, you'll be chilled and there will be no sad stories. You might get a hangover next morning, but apart from that, nothing's going to happen.
No, they can be sad. Do you think most people get this, that it's not for entertainment but for engagement?
No, not today's generation. Today's generation is anyway completely, I don't think they have any idea.
Do you think we're looking at more entertainment, that's why these formats?
Yeah, entertainment is easy, na?
Because you have formats to cater to your attention span. That's why you're creating those formats. I mean, I don't have anything against the formats, but I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, I mean,
do you think it's for that purpose?
We have become a generation of reels. So it is about 1 minute, 30 seconds and 3 minutes. That's what it's all about now. So to sit and I used to watch plays for 4 hours. 3.5 hours. I watched Lear and all for 4.5 hours. Chennai, we have done plays for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Now I have to make sure every play finishes before 1 hour 30 minutes because people have other things on their mind. So now our whole quest has to hold their attention, which is so sad.
Yeah.
Because what we are going towards is hollowness. It's very sad. And yes, today's generation has zilch attention span. However much they might hate me for saying this. We see the generation in front of us, it scares us. We try our best to intervene.
In fact, that's what I wanted to ask when you said, no, this generation has completely lost it and they don't have it. But you still go to schools and teach. So, is there a way that you're trying to bring them back in your own little ways? Of course,
it's a desperation. Today, we all know that as theatre educators, we are the last bastion standing between these young minds and before they go out into this world, who can possibly arm them, equip them with some kind of weaponry to survive in a conducive, culturally civilized manner.
Actually, I don't know of another group who does that. Is there another group who goes to schools to teach?
I'm sure there are a lot of people who go to schools. All over India, it's a big business.
Okay.
It's one of the theatre education is a bigger business than theatre is. It's a big business. Forget a theatre teacher who is going to look into your soul. Even an average science or math teacher is somebody the school needs to look into. We have seen problems which are occurring with bad teachers.
Absolutely.
And theatre teachers are people who are going to go into your soul. You are going to be vulnerable in front of them. If you are not the correct person, then it's very dangerous. So I think schools should very seriously interview, engage, and look at curriculum vitae, etc. before they hire theatre educators. But I feel that yes, we are the last people standing before they go out into the world. And even if we can make this much of a difference somewhere, I think we feel very happy when we meet some student who comes back one day. I recently had a student who called me from Germany and said, like, I'm calling you after a long time and everything, and like, I really, miss our classes. So somewhere I feel, yes, some change somewhere, something it did, maybe. 10 years, one change happened, happy. But we made the endeavor, some change happened, success.
So in your desperation, when you go to, I'm using desperation because you said in your desperation, you go to schools and you teach, I just want to understand, what exactly do you teach? What do you tell them?
See,
what is the session kind of like?
It's an interesting question, because when we started out, at least when I started out, 1999, Asan Memorial is the first school I went, and for a long time,
You've been doing this from 1999.
Actually, I started teaching from 1996.
Okay.
So when we go into a school, at that time, they saw where the person is from.
Okay.
They liked the person. They gave you the space and the students. They stepped back.
Okay.
Because theatre was not their forte. They kept an eye.
Right.
In fact, right from day one, in every school I go to, I have insisted there should be another teacher in the class observing. They have stepped back. So for us, it was a beautiful communion with the students for a long time. Then theatre education became a big thing. Cambridge comes in, international theatre people came in. Now theatre is in the curriculum. It has become as boring as science and maths. It's in the curriculum.
Yeah.
You have to write an exam. You have to make videos. We have to grade you. We have to give the preemptive scores, scores. We have to give rubrics. Theatre has become boring. So theatre is losing the battle, although on the front it looks like, oh, every school is doing theatre. Every school is not doing theatre. Every school is making theatre boring. But there are some schools even now in Chennai who say, theatre class, just let us know what is the course going to look like. It's your class. Now those schools, we see a different change. Those schools which say curriculum, we find it tough.
Okay. So what essentially do you go and teach them, or do you start with having a conversation? I just want to understand the process that you have
with
the students.
End of the day, the core objective of any theatre training will be to liberate your body and liberate your voice.
Okay.
The body must speak the truth. The voice must also express the truth.
Right.
That is the core value. Now, in order to get there, we use different kinds of tenets.
Okay.
So we are taking them through theatre literature and talking about what creates good theatre literature. We are doing physical work, physical movement, martial arts, different kinds of folk. Like Meera is very good at Devaratam. So those kind of stuff we use. And then we are using voice training, because every one of us has lost our natural capacity to express our voice in its full strength, full resonance. We have lost that. So we do that. We do a lot of work on semantics, so that, they are also getting comfortable with usage of vocabulary and words, understanding what it means, what are we trying to do in an interpersonal relationship. Most importantly, everything that will allow them to create a great play, but through that, also something that will allow them to be liberated in real life. To lose fear, to lose nervousness, to conquer anxiety, to be able to confront trauma. We are not psychologists, so we will never use these words per se in class, but it goes towards that.
Right.
And of course, open up your imagination, make you intuitive. We like to call it as the 4 I's: intuition, instinctiveness, impulse, and imagination. These 4 have to be enhanced in children. So our work goes towards that mostly.
I kind of feel most of us wouldn't need a psychologist if we had good theatre courses.
Yes.
Always.
I agree.
Okay. You're currently also doing a movement workshop,
Yes,
right?
Meera and Shakti are running it actually.
So I also want to understand that, like, this movement is this movement signifies this.
The idea is that whatever we do moves towards the fact that your body needs to feel free and confident and liberated.
Okay.
And not feel stifled. That's one of the things on stage also. The whole idea that a lot of people say, oh, we freeze on stage, we don't know where to look over. The idea is you have to relax. That whole relaxation comes when there's a sense of confidence that I'm able to remove my attention from myself and put my attention on everything that is around. Because acting is about also responding to the other person's behavior. So my attention has to be on you. But it can't be if I'm forever conscious about how am I looking? Am I standing straight? What is my next line? Am I holding it correct? Oh my God. That has to relax. Yeah. So every activity that we do when it comes to physical theatre is also to make sure that your body becomes the most optimum condition when it goes on stage.
Theatre is changing, right? So, but you have still stuck to what you started with, what you believe in. Nowhere did you feel that you want to go with the flow, maybe? No.
No, like you said, theatre is changing, but more theatre's facade is changing.
Okay.
Theatre's maybe infrastructure is changing. But what can never change is the truth. You know, whether it's 50,000 BC or whether it's 2025, what can't change is the truth. And not all the forces of this world can change the truth. So, where our attempt is to free the body and voice to be able to speak and express the truth at all time, irrespective of whatever change theatre will make, that will not change. And for us, and I mean, Theatre Nisha plays never are set heavy, costume heavy, property heavy, light heavy, because we believe the actor is supreme. And if it's a good performer, they don't need the other crutches.
Would you consider yourself lucky that you found people who resonate with the ethos of Theatre Nisha and that you yourself had? Or do you think you've been unlucky to not find many more?
We have not taken in 10 where we have taken in 0.1. We have done that also. We have said no to a lot of people, not because they were bad actors or bad people, but just because I felt we don't resonate in many ways. What they stand for and what I stand for is different. And whomsoever I have found in Theatre Nisha has also not been, I haven't bumped into them, I have found them.
I want to know from you, Meera. Of course, he started Theatre Nisha, so I'm guessing he'll be more, it's like his baby. But what has Theatre Nisha given you?
I think it's one of the places where I have felt safest in being honest, if I had to put it in a very simple way. Like I have never felt insecure about being very true. And I think if you can find a place like that, you will never give it up in life.
Absolutely. Where is theatre going?
I mean, where theatre should go,
It's not going.
It has to go towards the truth. It has to go towards the truth. Theatre has to be the space where truth can be spoken and heard. I do feel theatre is going away from there. Truth is no longer being spoken in the theatres and being heard. And somewhere we have started to facilitate it for each other. The companies all over the world whom we know were standing for doing good work are slowly fading away. Lack of money, lack of resources, people not watching them anymore. You know, everyone wants now the razzmatazz, everyone wants the jazz.
Okay, so on World Theatre Day, do you have a message? Do you want to say something to people who are, theatre enthusiasts, but probably may not have the right, may not have been able to connect to the right kind of people, or may not know, may not have time, but they are as much interested in theatre? What would you like to tell them?
I would like to tell them that if you like to call yourself as a theatre enthusiast, watch theatre. Do not come to work in theatre or to be cast in a play after having said that I have never watched a play in my life. Watch theatre.
You?
Same thing actually. I had already formed it in my head.
Which
is to watch. I say this to even the schools that I work at. We teach children theatre, but if the children don't go and watch a play, they will never understand what they're learning. And it's pointless. It's like learning music but never listening to it. That's no point. You can't do anything. It's like playing cricket without watching. There's no way. Until and unless you watch a Sachin or a Dravid, you're not going to be like, oh my God, this is what I need to be doing. This is what I need to practice. So my concern actually comes from that. And I have a great problem with it. For the simple reason, the world is exploitative. Okay, we are so careful about where we want to go. But theatre somehow comes very easily. You approach a theatre company without any background check, which is very dangerous for you. So out of great respect and safety for the other person, my first concern is, have you seen our work? Do you know what you're trying to get into? Not for any other reason, but do your background check. Before joining a company, you speak to so many people who are in that company. How is it that when it comes to theatre, you just feel like, oh, I'm interested, can I join you? How, why, what? If you're interested, watch.
Watch theatre.
And if you're not watching, goodbye. I am, because then there is no, it's like,
I know.
I will not listen to music, but I want to sing. Who will teach you?
True.
No one will teach you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
for
you, Rupam.
such
Thanks a lot.
It was so insightful and so informative. And I'm sure people will fall in love with theatre all over again. Enjoy. And don't tell me, don't complain, please, if they start messaging you. Can I join?
I'll only say watch. I'm not going to say anything else. I'll still be honest. I'll be like, watch theatre. Watch the play.
Yeah.
Because for me, that is number one.
I'm so glad to have actually, this is beyond work, to have known you guys. You have such, even if it was not theatre, to meet someone who's so passionate about what they do, no, is a learning, is like, I want to be like that, or there is another person who thinks like that. Very difficult to find people. So it's lovely conversation.
Thank you
so
so
much for
much.
making
Thank
the
you,
time
Rupam.
and coming. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.